Well, I've just been down to the mailbox and picked up this mount here. So it's a magnetic mount, and it is for our new Starlink Mini that we've just purchased. So we were in need of some reliable internet for Heidi's new job that she's just got, and while the WineGuard and the Wireless Nation has been working really good, we just can't guarantee that it's always going to work, so we needed some reliable internet, so had to bite the bullet and pay the big bucks. But yeah, this is the way we're going to mount it. I'm going to put this in here, slide that down there, it locks in. The other piece on the top, like so, and then there's 4 screws to go in here to lock that all together. But yeah, these are very strong magnets, and we're just going to magnet that down onto the roof. I'm going to take the WineGuard off and put it in its place and utilize its power as well, and we'll hardwire it into the battery system on the van.
Where did this come from?
The mailbox.
We just got it from a New Zealand company, but can you remember what it was called? The New Zealand company? They're in Masterton.
It's probably on the package.
Teletronics in Masterton.
There's heaps of different types of ones that you can get, even of these magnetic ones, but this one was local, and it's actually made out of steel. You can get some aluminium ones,
seems
plastic
very
ones.
solid.
Yeah,
you really liked the fact that it like clips over the edge.
Yes, so the Starlink can't move at all once this is all locked in.
What are they, like 50 kilo magnets?
Yeah. I can't remember what they are now. I'd have to look them up again, but it's more. I think it's more than that.
No.
I think it was like 80 kgs or something.
Oh yeah. Sweet. Yes, so the reason why we are getting Starlink, as Matt alluded to, is because I have actually picked up a new remote job, so that's really exciting, but it does mean that I will sort of have office hours, kind of the freedom to pick them, but I will need to have internet connection for all of that working time. And we knew we were going to have to get Starlink at some stage, but this was just kind of the push over the edge. It is so expensive. It is over 3 times the price of what we were paying for the Wireless Nation, which just works off the cell towers. But the last thing that I want is for my new role to stop us from being able to go into the remote places that we do. So I'd hate for us to drive into a really cool campsite and then we can't stay because there's no service. So this is just going to, what do you call it, future proof, or like just make this
It's just going to be seamless transfer, so you don't have to worry about where we're going to be at any point in time in our travels. You can still get internet service to do your job and earn us the big bucks.
And there is another thing that we are waiting on currently. We're still based in Wellington, spending time with family, but we are waiting on one more thing to arrive. So that is a part about being on the road when you don't have a base, that, you know, it's a layer of complexity, is getting stuff mailed to you. So we're waiting on something that is going to make this Starlink viable, because 1, Starlink is expensive, but 2, it also uses more power than our current internet system, and we're waiting on something that is going to also give us a little bit of like bulletproof in terms of being able to be off grid with that, which is
a very small Honda generator, just purely as a backup. But winter this year, well, it's not even winter yet, but we're actually struggling to maintain our power, especially with not driving a lot, the old fuel prices. So we are heading further north trying to get more sun, and if we do manage to find enough sun to keep us topped up, that's happy days. But you know, there's always going to be some cloudy days where you don't get anything, and we just might have to top up with a wee generator every now and then. So it's just safeguarding us. It's going to be cheaper to put 3 or 4 litres of petrol on a generator and run that than it is to drive the van around for 2-3 hours before it will actually charge back up. So yeah, that's what we're doing. Alright, so this is the situation. I don't have a ladder, but I've got a shed that I can stand on the top of. I'm going to take this machine, the wine guard, off the roof. But previously this is actually where it was leaking, so I've done a real good job of sealing it all back up again. So now I've got to dig all that silicone out of there, get the screws out, take that off the roof, and then throw this bad boy up there and join her up. So yeah, let's get after it. Alright, so I've got all the screws out now, but there's still silicone all under these feet, which I'm going to have to cut around. And then I need to disconnect this power, and there's a SIM card in here that I need to take out as well, so I'm going to get to doing that now. So now I'm stuck, and I've just got to disconnect the power wire here, and then seal up these little holes again so they don't leak all over our table like they were before. And then yeah, I'll connect up the Heidi down there, connect up the what am I calling it, Starlink. Well, if you ever wanted to know what one of these looked like on the inside, there you have it. So this is my power cable coming through, and I've just got to undo these wee clips, pull that out of there, undo this gland, and then pull that wire out of there, like so. Easy. Alright, now I need to see if I can get a reasonable amount of this old silicone off without destroying my paint. But yeah, we'll see how we go. Alright, so I'm getting these holes tidied up on those two, just working on the third one and then the fourth one to go there. So I took off the bulk of the silicone with just a razor blade, and then I've been putting some turps on a rag and then using just my plastic trim removing tool and just sort of scraping the rest of it off. It's been working quite good. So we'll get after these last two and then seal them up and they'll be good to go. Alright, so thinking that's sort of the area it's going to go. I'm never going to cover up this ugly place where the cable comes through the roof, but anyway, we'll get it wired up, and it's here just magneted down. So I don't think it's going to come off very easy in the wind or when we're driving, so pretty happy with how strong those magnets are. That's our finished product. Holes are all sealed up. Heidi's just fired it up and it's working good. Happy days. Well, you may or may not be able to hear me for the wind, but I'm back on the roof with the Starlink again because we need to add an extra piece to it. Yeah, so just been back up on the roof fiddling with the Starlink again. So while you can run it off straight 12 volt and it works fine for general usage, whenever Heidi's uploading either photos or being flat out busy on the internet doing the things that she does, it was actually crashing on us. So we've got a voltage booster which takes it from 12 volts up to 30 volts, which makes it 105 watts capable, and under peak usage it says it will only use 60 watts. So fingers crossed we have no more cutting out anymore.
And to Matt's credit, when he went to install it, he said, hey, I've been researching, and on the internet a lot of people put in wave voltage converters because while it can run on 12 volts, when it is under load, it actually wants to be able to draw above that. And I was like, yeah, but I've seen other people in forums just literally hook it up to where their wine guard was. So for 95% of the time, like for streaming the TV, for general internet usage, it was absolutely fine. But as soon as I started trying to download or upload gigabytes worth of data at a time and also multitasking for work, it would just like crash and reboot, and obviously frustrating. So
more than frustrating.
Anyway, I thought I would show you while I'm on here. So we've got it still on a bypasser. I don't know if you can see that, but there is a Starlink power, so I can just turn it off. And that is probably the plan because it does draw a lot more power than our other internet thing did. So overnight it actually goes into a bit of like a sleep mode. You can schedule a sleep mode anyway. So yeah. Otherwise, apart from the fact that we needed that wee booster, it has been incredibly... Matt's just trying not to set things on fire inside the van. It's been incredibly great, like download speeds of well over 200 megabytes per second, up to 300, I think, which is just lightning speed compared to what I have been dealing with. And yeah, it's been great. Very reliable. Just have to remember not to park under any trees, which we don't do at this time of year anyway because we're trying to get as much solar as possible. But that is how you install Starlink Mini on the roof.
12 volt.
We hope. I am sitting here editing this video, and by editing I mean I'm literally loading it in, cutting it together, and then it will go up. So we are putting these more uncut versions. We're not going to a heap of effort with the editing side of it. Like, this is about as raw as you can get from us, and we're putting these up in our members group on our Buy Me a Coffee membership, and we're hoping to share more of these style of videos with you over there. And yeah, just a bit more behind the scenes of what life is. This one just happened to be what we're getting up to in terms of installing Starlink, but yeah, just more behind the scenes,
more shit yarns, just the day-to-day stuff of living in a van.
So if you enjoy that content, we'd love to have you join us over there.